everything is gone topsy turvy. Oh, here's Daniel. Now we
Hey,
can
what's up, everybody?
now we can go right. Now everything can go right.
What did you not get the intro?
No, I got a
All
little
right,
bit. I got a little bit of Dave singing. I got a little bit, and then that stopped, and everything went very, very silent.
very interesting. Well,
Hmm.
in that case, Rob, welcome to Have You Seen This? This is season 4, episode 4. I've decided,
Okay.
um, and for once, we actually have news to talk about. That is really exciting. We've gotten multiple trailers, some announcements of some possible series that are coming in the future,
Hmm.
and just recently you sent in something to the group that there's another TV series that's being worked on.
Yeah, it's not like it's one that I'm super excited about. It was just I decided,
Yeah,
oh,
I just
today is a day I might go on Twitter, and then I saw that come up, and I was like, what the hell is this?
that
I
seems
don't get
pretty
it.
interesting.
I don't see
So we're
how
going to be
this
talking
series.
about oh wow, we're going to be talking about all of the big guys
Mhm.
cuz we've got Disney, we've got HBO, we've got Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I guess we're not going to be talking about Netflix. Sorry.
Yeah, F you Netflix. Oh, we might be. Well, are we going to talk about a certain low and
Oh
low?
yes, the show that we've been watching. Well, I've been watching all week.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Uh, so yes, we will be talking about a show on Netflix for sure. All
Hmm.
right, shall we get into it by first asking Rob, how's it going?
Oh, I thought I was deaf. I thought I went deaf there, like not even 2 minutes ago. But miraculously, my
I understand you completely. Um, would you would you like to maybe explain a little further for people who might not have understood?
no, I don't know why my mic keeps going out, unless that's that damn ghost. Don't
It
worry.
might be the ghost.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that was a bit or a weird glitch.
no idea. My hands are literally in my lap, and my mic was working. So I'd imagine
Excellent.
it's some pesky, unfriended ghost. That's it.
Fun stuff, fun stuff.
Hmm.
Uh
Yep.
just the ghost in the machine. All right. Blame Rotom. That's a joke for 3 people. Um so, shall we jump into the news with a show that got a trailer? Let's go with the one nearest to our eyes and screens.
Very good. What is it?
Uh, Secret Invasion.
Oh,
Um, Samuel L. Jackson back on the Marvel Earth, maybe. We don't know. You can't hear anything? I also can't hear you. This is going to be very interesting.
Well, this is why I'm here.
Whoa! We found a Frenchie.
How are you, man?
Really good considering I can't hear or speak to Rob right now. So, like, your
Which,
timing is
which
perfect.
the only reason I'm on is I can't hear him, so perfect. I'll go on. If he starts speaking, I'm out. I'm out.
Have you watched the Secret Invasion trailer?
Yo, it looks insane. It looks like not Civil War, but more like the one right before Winter Soldier. That feel of like
Yeah,
you don't know what's
yeah.
going on. You don't know what to trust. Hydra got replaced with with aliens. I really really love the tone, and Nick Fury looks like a bad MF.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see him back because it's been so long since Nick Fury has even been part of the picture. So I I can't wait to catch up on whatever the hell he's been up to in all that time. And also just I I know in the real world that Sam Jackson is getting older, so we don't have a lot more time of him kicking ass, and I do want to see it while we've got it.
I completely agree. But we just lost Snark again. Perfect. I can't stay on. I can't sound too long, but yeah, that trailer definitely made an impact for me.
Nice, nice. And I mean, appreciate you jumping in with the save.
Just a couple minutes. What are trailers to react on your end? Maybe something I missed, maybe something I saw.
Yeah, the other news we were gonna jump into were just some announced like HBO and Warner Brothers are working on some series for both a restart of the Harry Potter franchise and
I've
also
heard of that.
possibly an Aegon's Conquest series on the Game of Thrones side.
The Harry Potter actually, that I can talk about it. That
Thank
I
you,
can,
Dave.
yeah, talk about because I am interested. I am curious if I'm not understanding it correctly. One season is every year, so that means they're recasting Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron. So that's an interesting venue because the movies are very near to my heart. They will never get replaced for film aspect, but if they can update a bit and get new fresh faces that still represent, but we get more material and it feels like Harry Potter and it feels like Hermione is still in Ron, just a different universe, a different parallel dimension of it, because it's not the same actors, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I like the aspect, and I like the commitment of 7 seasons. Like, but I would much rather explore like a different part of the universe rather than just rehash that one. Like, although I do
There's so
see
much
where a
that's missed,
TV,
though. There's
yeah,
so much that's missed.
and like with a TV series, you will get to flesh out multiple characters that like both you could invent new ones and just have different characters because you will have to interact with more than just the 6 people, especially the first few books are not very dense.
Well, that's why I personally would do first and second year in one season. That I think that if you're doing like a 10 season arc, put 1 and 2 together. Let's put it as a 6 season thing. Or the last book is 2 seasons, if you really want to make it dramatic as hell. Something like that I think would work. But I agree, the first 2 books, especially for that, you're gonna have to add on things. But when it comes to the rest of the season, I don't want no Walking Dead deviations to complete a lot of things, right? So they have to stay faithful. So I see adding on characters only good for the first season or two. Then you have to go stay true, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying adding on characters that would change the plot or anything, but just adding ancillary characters. Like one, you need more Hufflepuffs. You need more Ravenclaws. We know about 3 from those 2 houses, whereas like there's 10 of both Gryffindor and Slytherin that get big parts. But just small little interactions.
Little question for you. Like, I can't remember. Was Luna Lovegood supposed to be there since, was that her first year when she first appeared? I don't think so, right?
No. She's in Ginny's grade, so she would have gone to school with them for multiple years.
You can tag on characters you only see later in the movie, flesh them out a bit more, make them more interesting once they're supposedly first appearance, give a backstory, skip the first appearance. In that way, I think it works. You add on and you flesh out the side characters because the side characters are fun in the movies. They don't have much to do except for very small things. Even Neville sometimes. You do a Neville episode.
Yeah,
I want a Neville episode. Stuff like that.
Oh, it's going to be so depressing if he's got to go to the hospital, which we didn't get in the movies.
True.
Like that fucking hospital bit is real rough.
Oh yeah, really. Look, there's so much you can do. Like, so yeah, you can reinvent or add some stuff, but there's so much side characters barely touch anyways in the movie that you don't really need to. But other representations, Hufflepuff, give me a freaking Hufflepuff,
You're wearing the colors.
All right. Yeah, and for the other, I didn't even know that was news. It was what, Game of Thrones related, you said?
Yes, they're looking at a possible series and maybe a feature film to lead into the series based on Aegon's Conquest.
Okay, interesting.
So I very much hope that the movie is like I actually want a Doom of Valyria movie, but that's a whole other thing. I think you can't really tell Aegon's like story without talking about like the ancestors that landed on the islands in the middle first, but you know,
They
I
might,
like the whole
they
thing,
might
so
reinvent some stuff. They might like they probably don't. They probably have something juicy in that time period, and to set it up, I don't think they're gonna be as patient as they were ever with Game of Thrones. There's a reason I find the other show they came out after was very a little part then skip 10 years and a little part and skip 3 years because putting that much long-term storyline worked but kind of hurt them at the same time, especially in the end.
yeah, especially because like they immediately reversed that decision on the pacing and brought it way too far in the other direction. But
Yeah,
I think as long as House of the Dragon sticks to what it's doing now, it will do very well. And I'm excited to see what they would do with Aegon's. Like you definitely have a few seasons because like he doesn't even build his castle for a little while. It takes a bit, and then like they never conquer Dorne in his whole lifetime. So you have never ending plots there.
all right. So I do have to leave off. Before I do, if you don't mind, I can plug something, my madame.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a show tonight on the Multiverse of Geekdom. It is called Geeking Out, where me, Don, and Jason, we are geeking out this week about video game consoles. I'm personally talking about the Game Boy and Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy, and we're going through other consoles from their choice and the games from their choice. So do not miss a thing. It is on Multiverse of Geekdom at 9 o'clock for those who are around 9:30 for those who want to see a drop. If not, you can check us anytime. Till next time, Don. And give a big to having technical difficulties. He's just like smoking.
Yeah,
smoking a cigar in the bathroom.
There's been a lot of difficulties.
Oh, I'm leaving, and now he comes back. I'm saying.
Oh, and how coincidental! How coincidental! The French guy shows up and it boots out the Anglophone Canadian. Oh my God!
Snark, I miss you. I wish I could stay. MF, I came on to see you both, and then things happen. But it's nice to see you. I'll try to pop on the next week very soon. Till next time, boys.
Take it easy.
Adieu, Frenchie.
Adieu, Snarky.
All right, we might be back.
Ghost at worst. Oh, if you can hear me, then that's good.
Yeah. There's a bit of lag, but
okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
God damn. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. None. So live internet shit. All right, what the hell were you guys talking about?
All right. Well, we actually got quite a bit through the news while we were sitting here.
Oh, good. All right. Good.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on the Secret Invasion trailer?
It was fun. It was good. Yeah. I hope. Yeah. I hope they have someone figured out to be Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big part of the Secret Invasion stuff, guys. And with and then Thunderbolts and stuff going on too. And there's a lot going on. Does Harrison Ford show up in this? Yeah, who knows? I liked it though.
I could see.
About time we see. It's about time we see Nick Fury get hands dirty here.
I could see them not being ready until like maybe a post-credit scene to put Harrison Ford in, but I could see much like they did in the Boys season. Like I could see the kind of presidential campaign popping around.
Well, I think that Dermot Mulroney there is supposed to be the president, and it looks like his truck gets blown up or whatever. So I don't know if they've moved Thunderbolt Ross into being the vice president or something like that, and that's how he becomes president, because he was the Secretary
I'm
of
not
State
sure,
right? Yeah, so it'd make a progression. It would make sense to do it that way, but who knows?
And yeah, like I could see like also I guess Doctor Who did it a lot before the boys did it, right?
Mhm.
With Saxon becoming prime minister.
So fun.
Yeah, yeah, like I would like to see that happening. Like I'd like to see posters around. I'd like to see like him kind of take the power in the background. And so by the time that we see him, he's Thunderbolt Ross, you know?
Yeah. Geez, I'd just love to see Harrison Ford turn into a big red menace, big huge red Hulk. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, come on.
Too soon? What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't even understand.
It's okay because basically my argument is like Harrison Ford might not be through the entire Marvel regimen to be in time for both Secret Invasion and for Thunderbolts in whenever Thunderbolts comes out. So I could see them doing it in picture form where he's much more easy to modify.
I'll bet you 5 Canadian dollars that in real life, Harrison Ford thinks that Batman and Popeye are both part of the Marvel cinematic universe.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, they're going up against fearless leader from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Hmm.
He has no idea. None. He's an
And
old, confused man. Yeah, as long as the check clears, that's all he cares about.
yeah, yeah. And all right,
Good for him.
so for the potential series,
Hmm.
we've got the Warner Brothers, HBO, working on a Harry Potter series possibly, and
Yeah.
possibly working on an Aegon's Conquest series.
Okay. More
Uh,
dragons. Like
yes, and
more dragons.
wizards.
And both, like in
Well,
both, there's
yeah,
way
both
more
of them have
dragons.
more dragons, I guess.
Yep. All right.
And any
So,
thoughts on either, really?
well, yeah. Of course, I'd love to see a Harry Potter television show. I'd love to get even closer to the books. I think the movies did a fine job. I love the movies; they're very entertaining. There's a lot that they had left out, a lot that they had to skip. Um, they're gonna they have to be so careful with who they're gonna pick. I think they really caught lightning in a bottle with the casting they did, and and does Chris
Mm.
Columbus come back to help with that? Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It'll be tough. How
Long
many?
as
How many?
as long
How
as
many
Chris
parents are gonna?
Columbus comes back to help and
Yeah,
not David Yates.
yeah, yeah. Not even like just to help with the casting process. Like help these guys go through. Like they must have seen almost every child actor in England at the time, right? So how do you find ones that seem like they all seem so level-headed? Like even to this day, like they all seem so good, except for that one guy. Except for that one friend of Malfoy's, he went nuts. But everybody else seems to have. Oh my God, 5 years old. What? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because it's gonna take like
considering like
Let's go. You think it's gonna take like 6 years for it to get together? Oh my God! I just think they're gonna have everything together. Like he's supposed to be 11, like he's 11 years old, unless you're gonna do one like Are they gonna start like before? They can't start before the books. Like they can't
no,
start with
no.
with the Death Eaters going nuts or anything like that in the beginning.
They'll start likely they're gonna
They're
get
gonna
like
start on
a
Privet Lane or whatever, Privet Drive, and you
oh my
know,
god.
getting dropped off at his uncle and aunt, the Dursleys, and then
Listen,
yeah, that
Game
would
of
be yeah.
Thrones got so lucky because and this is the problem with casting 11-year-old boys is that in 2 years they could be 3 inches taller or 3 feet taller.
They have. Here's the thing: they're gonna have to do like it's basically the same thing with Harry Potter. They're gonna have. They were releasing one a year for
Yeah.
the first 4 or 5 years, right?
Well, my
First
my
four
point
years
is
anyway.
more like one of these characters could end up freakishly taller than like
Yeah.
everyone else
Well,
for
it's
the
going to happen.
entirety of season 2.
It's gonna happen. Like they just have to get everyone around at the same age and stuff like that.
Like,
And then what happens happens. Then life happens. It doesn't matter
yeah.
unless one turns
Game of
out to
Thrones
be
got lucky that
a gross
Bran's
hideous
growth
monster.
spurt.
If one grows to like 7 feet tall, all of a sudden it's like he's got Andre the Giantism or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did happen a
I'll
little
figure.
bit. But yeah, like Bran, the actor who plays Bran in Game of Thrones, is so tall. And
But
like
he was supposed to be still young, right? Like at least in the
Yeah.
Harry Potter movies, they're aging a year every time.
Well,
He
they
was always supposed to
also
be young
they got
Bran.
away with it because right before his giant ass growth spurt, Bran gets confined to a wheelchair, so it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to hide the fact that he is taller than every one of his co-stars, all of his older siblings.
Is that true? I guess it's true.
I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of him standing next to most of them. I know Kit Harington's really short, so
Okay, come on. It's not nice to say to somebody.
I mean, I'm really short, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
He may be short in stature, but he's tall in character. Thank you very much.
I
Actually,
mean,
have
Kit
no idea if he
Harington,
is.
sure. Kit Harington might be tall
I have
in character.
no idea if he is. He may
If
be a
you're trying to
toter.
argue that Jon Snow is tall in character,
He knows nothing. All right.
yes,
He knows
that's
zilch.
and he does have character in the way that he has like he's a good hero guy, but he doesn't have character because he's a fucking he's a piece of plywood.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Oh, I mean,
I'm just wondering if the producers are worried about who they cast as Neville Longbottom. 'Cause Neville, all of a sudden, Neville's the biggest, strongest guy in the thing or whatever. He's supposed to be one of the biggest nerds, and that's what makes his hero push in the book
yeah.
so great. Anyways,
Well,
out.
we do know whoever they cast is going to end up freakishly good looking by the last movie. And
Okay,
they'll be paying him for years to not fix his teeth as
I was gonna
as they
say
did with the original.
what they're gonna do is make sure that it won't be hard because it's probably all gonna be filmed in England still. So they just make sure there's no dentist on set. There's only 2 dentists in the entire country.
Jeez.
Rare. They're rare.
At least I'm being mean to fictional characters.
Most of them are homeless. Bunch of homeless dentists in England.
Fun.
From what I figured out. But you are a big Game of Thrones guy. Are you excited for that Aegon's Conquest? And Aegon is that old jerk who married 2 sisters and took over the entire thing or whatever, right?
Yes.
I remember that, right? Yes.
He's basically like continuing the footsteps of a different ancestor of theirs that flew them away from their homeland that exploded. Probably a volcano. We don't really. Maybe dragons.
Right.
That
one dragon that's alive, the one that is there with the Cyclops boy now.
Yes.
That
Vhagar.
was his wife's, right? His sister
Yes.
wife. Sickos.
Yes. Vhagar. Ooh, wow.
Basically, yeah.
I want to say Vhagar was
place.
Visenia's. I don't want to get that wrong, but I think Vhagar was Visenia's. And then no, I said the producers were lucky that the character was.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, yeah. Vhagar is still around in House of the Dragon. None of them are around in Game of Thrones, obviously. The big ass skull is Aegon's dragon, Balerion.
Right.
And everyone knows the big ass skull that I'm talking about. If you've seen Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, you've seen Balerion's skull. And this is why I want an Aegon's Conquest series. Is because I want them to not ever have the entirety of Balerion in an entire frame of the camera. Like, this dragon was supposed to be so fucking big that, like, basically you couldn't see it from end to end if it flew past you. Like, you would it.
It's like a train.
Balerion is supposed to be the biggest dragon ever, and we've only ever seen him dead. And I want to see the giant dragon that is supposed to be the size of, some sizable keeps. Not entire castles, but the keeps within them. And yeah.
Unbelievable.
And he does roast a couple armies. Then the Stark bends the knee to him, and he conquers the whole place. But
Stark guy's pretty smart.
And yeah, he's, according to House of the Dragon, it's apparently he also received this weird prophecy, which the prophecy means nothing. We already know that the prophecy means nothing. I don't know why there's a weird prophecy in this freaking prequel show when we know that the prophecy means nothing, because we saw the end of it.
A Song of Ice and Fire?
Means nothing, because it was Arya all along.
That's right.
So huge spoilers for Game of Thrones, I guess. Should have put that warning up a couple of seconds ago.
If we're spoiling Game of Thrones, oh boy.
And yeah, I'll watch more Game of Thrones series, especially if they're made to the standards of the first 6 seasons and the current series that's on. So
sure,
I'm gonna check both of those out if they eventually come around. But
are you gonna opt for a lot of time jumps and stuff like that, like House of the Dragon, or you think it's gonna be more of a linear story?
I think it will be a much more linear story, because and then like maybe one jump between seasons, but like a lot of Aegon's story does happen, and it's about him becoming king, and then also learning what it means to be king of the Seven Kingdoms.
Do you think there's going to be a scene of him like watching his mom give birth or something like that, and him going, "All right," like a friggin' sicko?
That would be very strange.
Yes.
And then
right up there,
Ellie. Okay. We have series that are on and we've been watching, right?
Right.
What are we watching?
Well, I'm going to start because we're going to talk about something that we both watched. So earlier, I don't know if it was this season or if it was last season on this very here program, I found out there was going to be a reboot of Night Court. So
yes,
I decided, finally got a chance to watch 3 episodes of the Night Court reboot. And oh boy. It wasn't very good. John Larroquette is still good. Dan Fielding is still good. Dan Fielding in the original Night Court was a scumbag assistant DA who didn't give a shit. He was a very 80s yuppie-ish almost kind of guy, womanizer, very selfish and self-important. And in this one, he's like kind of broken down and has a beard. It kind of still talks the same, and like in Larroquette's doing that almost kind of Shatner-esque kind of stopping in between some of his words while he's saying his lines, and it gets annoying after a bit. It's like, you could just say it. Like, John, you're a good actor. You can just say the line. What's her name? Melissa Roche or whatever. She was on the huge nerd show, The Big Bang Theory, is playing Harry's daughter now, and somehow she has the exact same job as him at the Night Court in the exact same office somehow. And for some reason, they kept a whole bunch of his stuff in an attic somewhere at the Night Court. So whatever. Yeah, it's not great. A lot of things like, oh, my father did, and oh, my father did. It's like, if you would have done that in the first episode and then never mention it again, it would have been okay. You don't have to keep bringing it up. You have to push past those fucking things if you want to keep going with the show. If you want to make the show anything watchable, anything that interesting at all. They have one bailiff. The show works better with two. It always worked better with two. You always had like the bull, and then you had an older lady, and then you had another one after she died of cancer. It doesn't work with just the one, and the new DA they have isn't that great. One of the better new characters is the new court clerk. I think his name's Andy or something like that, and he was fine. But I went into this giving it an actual chance. I gave it an actual chance. I was hoping it'd be all right, but yeah, it has reboot-itis. It tries to tell the same kind of jokes a different way, and it's like like Harry was quirky. Like Harry Anderson was a magician and stuff like that in real life. Like, well, in real life, but like that's what he was doing before. He was a comedian and magician. But he had weird things like a love of Mel Torme and stuff like everybody had these quirks. There's nothing. There's nothing in this. And mind you, it's only 3 episodes. But you have to do something. You have to get somebody hooked in somehow. There's just nothing there. There's nothing there. I also watched the rest of it just to say I did it. I'm like, it's not How I Met Your Father terrible.
Okay.
It's not Blockbuster terrible. It's not great. I couldn't recommend. If no one's never seen, if no one has ever seen Night Court, you'd never want to watch this.
Would it still be better than Blockbuster if it wasn't attached to Night Court?
Oh yeah, Blockbuster.
Yeah. Okay.
Blockbuster was awful.
I didn't watch a single episode of Blockbuster, so I wouldn't know.
Diseased human homo.
As the one person on Earth who watched all of Blockbuster, nothing could be worse.
Yeah.
Nothing could be worse.
Nothing. Blockbuster is a living nightmare.
No, it's a dead nightmare because it's canceled.
Oh, that's true. The only thing that I've seen worse since we started this show is How I Met Your Father. Unwatchable garbage. It's unwatchable garbage. We're talking about how great the new Night Court is compared to Blockbuster and How I Met Your Father. But that's it. Yeah, like if you've never seen Night Court, if you never watched the original Night Court, you would find absolutely no interest in this show. It's for people that have seen it, want to relive a little bit of nostalgia. It's great to see Dan Fielding back, even though they made him the defense attorney now for some reason, and they're trying to make him care for his clients and stuff like that. It's it's a hard pill to take for someone who loved just the smugness of Dan Fielding, of that character. But you could watch it for him. Just you can skip, like you can almost skip everything else. Like it is, yeah. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
All right.
Speaking of disappointed, how about Unstable?
Yeah.
Did you like the show? Did you watch the whole show?
I have watched 5 or 6 episodes. I've watched most of it now.
Right.
And I kind of like it. I think it's fun.
There's things that I like.
Yeah. I really like Rob Lowe. Like his character's a lot of fun.
Is he supposed to be like kind of an Elon Musk-ish? If Elon Musk had a bit of a soul, kind of a thing.
I think it's got to be close to like more of a Steve Jobs sort of
Okay.
thing. Like
Alright.
he's supposed to be hip.
Mhm.
Elon Musk tries to be hip, and there's a difference.
Alright. Okay.
It's an important distinction. But yeah, he's just like one of those freak geniuses, and I mean, like the reason you were mentioning like 3 episodes was I actually like I knew I was gonna like Unstable from the first episode,
Okay.
and I think that is a series that like I don't have to say the show's for everyone because it is real fucking dumb, but basically that first episode is a very good pilot for what the show is.
Yeah. That's awesome. Uh, yeah, I had there was some problems and stuff like that. I think that the fact that Rob Lowe's own son is playing his son on the show, and that Rob Lowe looks younger than his son, is disturbing and unnatural.
Mm,
Yes, an
that's
he
what
has an
vampirism
odd
will do
head.
for you.
He has an odd head. Yeah, at night. Yeah, at night, like Rob Lowe just has like this straw thing that he puts into his kid's spine and just sucks his vitality out every night.
We
He's a monster.
those claims belong to only Snark and not the show at large.
Listen, I've been studying this shit for years. I could tell. I could tell a vampire person when I see it.
You know
Let's
what?
see.
I think I could tell a vampire if I saw one too.
Yeah, I was annoyed that the CFO is British. I don't know why. There's something about it that bugged me. Um,
I
my
actually
favorite.
really like that she's British. I find the one British character to be a very funny addition to most shows. A very bad example of that would be How I Met Your Father.
You're a terrible human
As
being
one
for even
British
making it up.
character, they're awful.
Awful. You're an awful person. I like the two scientist girls. I think they're very good. The pistachio lovers there. And then that one assistant guy has an odd look to him, but I think he could be pretty good over the couple episodes that I've seen or whatever. There's some promise to him.
He does get
I
into
didn't
some
under,
shenanigans.
yeah, yeah, the whole thing about having his kid cry and stuff like that is unnatural, and even though he's going crazy and stuff like that. Fred Armisen's in one episode, and he was really good, but and then him just starting to cry for no reason, and I just felt that that scene was kind of unearned, and it happened way too fast. But maybe stuff picks up in the next couple episodes. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'm gonna finish watching that one too. It's again, we've seen a lot worse, and there's only 8 episodes so far, so it's not like you're super far behind. I can
Yeah.
watch 20-minute episodes, no problem.
And
So I say.
one thing that like is a bit of like it's going to be hard is the fact that every time they're like doing the science that they do at the workplace, which is very rarely, I'll give them
Sure.
that.
Sure.
It's not entertaining. Like the show is very good except for when they're doing the job that they all work at, which is where this like situational comedy is placed. Like,
do you think that Rob Lowe's kid is just doing an imitation of Rob Lowe? That's something I couldn't get out of my head. And that's why, and the fact that his kid doesn't look like him enough that I have to look up the thing. It's like, that's Rob Lowe's kid? Like, it's like, now I get it. Now he's been around his dad his entire life. He can play his dad. So,
although
I don't
it's
remember
very
him being in anything else.
it's very weird to think about him kind of like copying or doing an impression of Rob Lowe while acting as the son of Rob Lowe's character who wants to be nothing like his father.
Well, Rob Lowe's
it's a
done
very
something
weird
like-
twisting dynamic there.
Well, I guess so. Rob Lowe did something like that when he acted like Bob Wagner. He knew Bob Wagner before he like knew him socially, and that's why he was asked when he was to do the Austin Powers movie or whatever. He was able to do a Bob Wagner imitation pretty good because he's been doing it for years and stuff like that. He was doing it with Bob Wagner in the movie. So, yeah, it's a. I'll say it's fine. It's a fine show. You know,
Yeah.
it's entertaining enough.
It's
It's
no
entertaining
Pentaverate,
adjacent.
but we can't all be 5 stars.
That's right. That's right. One of the truly great Canadian television shows of all time.
So, do you wanna talk a little bit on how Mando went last week? Maybe
liked-
Dave will have to shut his ears because he didn't watch the other show. But oh no, he watched the Star Wars one though, for
He
sure.
must have. I don't. Well, he is a monster, but
He went to work, but he didn't watch Mando. I doubt
watched
that.
Despicable.
Mando.
You see, despicable monster. I liked it. The end, and you have not seen this, right?
No, I have.
No. I'm talking to young Daniel.
Oh,
the guy who,
I definitely
famously
have not
has watched
seen.
this. I was confused with the ending. Like they're talking about Moff Gideon and stuff like that, and they said, "Oh, he's off to court or whatever, the New Republic court." And did everybody just forget about him after a while? Wouldn't he be like a big get? It's like, oh, and we just discover his shuttle in the middle of nowhere. This one person, no problem.
well, no, they set this up in the episode with the where we follow Dr. Pershing and the officer who was working for Gideon, that
Right.
some people believe like he never made it to trial because it's like one of those things that a guy like that you don't have an open trial for.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that they got lost, like, you know, people don't have the clearance to talk about Moff Gideon. And Joseph brings up in the chat about it being a frame job. Do you believe that the Mandalorians are the ones who broke him out?
I believe there could be a Mandalorian that did it. Not, of course, the ones that we know, but there was all those other ones that were supposed to be with what's her name, right? Bo-Katan. They said, screw off. We're gonna do this ourselves, kind of.
Oh, you think it was Sasha Banks?
Oh, maybe. I guess so. Is that her name?
Well, no, that's the actor.
Yep.
Wrestler.
I have no idea.
I don't remember what her character's name was.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Sure.
Yeah, she was.
The spaceship.
She was with Bo last season. I think there was a whole arc in Rebels, and I'm rewatching Rebels right now with my wife. So, and I haven't got here yet, but there was a whole bit about Mandalorians being trained as super troopers, not like the movie.
Lights are gonna find.
Can we train Mandalorians like Super Troopers like the
I
movie,
would
though?
love that to happen. Neil Patrick Harris is there. It's a great time.
He wants a liter of cola. That's
Neil
it.
Patrick Harris is one of the Mandalorians.
Oh my god.
So I don't think it. So it could be like I believe that was Gar Saxon's people. He couldn't be Gar, obviously, because he was killed in the duel. But so it wouldn't have been Bo-Katan, but it could have been the other Death Watch people. I agree with this in the chat. I also believe that probably whoever was doing it was Thrawn, who definitely.
I know who that is.
You know who that is, and he's definitely showing up at the end of the season to kill
Ooh.
Moff Gideon.
To kill him?
Yeah, for like failing, you know.
Oh,
So you didn't bring me the baby, so now you have to die.
gee whiz. He really wants to eat that Grogu or whatever?
Grogu, Yodas are delicious. Okay.
Yeah. Also, Grogu, my choice for the new Harry Potter. He already knows magic.
He's too old. He's 50.
He can play younger. He can play younger.
He can play younger.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Also, Dave literally just called him a Yoda, so I don't feel bad about just referring to Grogu as a Yoda anymore.
Well, we don't know their species, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just Yodas.
Yeah, there's Yoda, Yaddle, and Grogu.
Yes.
What did you think of everything else though? I know you didn't get as much out of this, but right at the beginning, massive cameo. Zeb from Rebels, that purple guy that's talking to Carson Teva.
At the bar there, the guy with the New Zealand accent or whatever.
Is that New Zealand? I don't think that's what people from New Zealand sound like. What did the
I
Hobbit
thought
sound
that-
like?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, whatever. Yeah, but that is Zeb from Rebels, and he is a character from the cartoons, voiced by his voice actor. And I love all the comparison shots now, being like, "This is what a fully CGI character looks like on a Disney Plus show. Why does it look better than MODOK in the last Ant-Man movie?"
Oh boy. Well,
Because I thought Zeb looked fantastic.
yeah.
And fun fact about that design, that is originally what they wanted Chewbacca to look like.
Really? They're going
I-
back to those old drawings, right? Those Ralph McQuarrie drawings, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
the
I know
Zeb's-
that
Sorry.
one robot that keeps showing up is supposed to be what C-3PO looked like.
Mhm.
Like if you look at the the old sketches and stuff like that, it has that kind of Metropolis-looking face to it.
Yeah, no, but you look way back at the original character designs, it's less grizzly bear and more like this guy. So very interesting. You know, comes from very few of his kind survive, and the ones who do live out in uncharted space. So you have to believe he'll be showing up in the Ahsoka show.
Is Tim Meadows in Rebels? Because I kind of marked out when I saw.
I
Tim Meadows.
loved Tim Meadows being in this
Yeah,
as just
he's
an
awesome in
overworked
everything.
paper pusher, and I love that sassy droid where Tim Meadows is like, don't put that there. That's my workspace, and the droid just drops it.
You could put Tim Meadows in Night Court, and it would be a fantastic show. You could
Don't
put
say
Tim-
that. We said that about what's his name from the Spider-Man movies. He was in Blockbuster.
Oh, JB Smooth.
Yeah, JB Smooth. We said,
I
and-
just think about which Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies. It's like there's been too many.
Well, yeah, but there are some people that it is true about, like Mark Shepard. Like Mark Shepard is in everything, and he's wonderful in everything.
yeah,
Tim Meadows is also in everything and wonderful in everything.
Now they have to do a Son of Zorn season 2. Son
Now-
of bitches.
So Rob, what did you think?
They
of,
really don't need to. They do not need to make a Son of Zorn season 2.
No,
Disagree. Hard
they
disagree.
do not. What do you think of the action in this episode, Rob? Because this is the first time since season 1 we got to see the Mandos really pop off.
It was good. It looked
Big-
like Star Wars.
Big John Favreau one's going crazy.
Yeah, with the like it's like this is the best violence since that Boba Fett, that end of the Boba Fett thing or whatever, with all the shooting in the town and stuff like that. Yeah, it was good. Good to see Swamp Thing get his ass kicked there for a little bit.
I'm sad that the Swamp Thing's dead. I really liked that
mean-
guy.
The guy was a jerk.
He was, but I liked the fact that there was a Swamp Thing in Star Wars.
That's true. So is that guy wasn't a part of the cartoon show?
No,
That was like
you'd think he would be because it's a Swamp
Yeah.
Thing. But
Yeah.
when I love me a big Swamp Thing monster, and he was a pirate captain, played by that guy from Game of Thrones.
oh, what was he?
Yeah, he was.
Game of Thrones guy?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. He was Zarin
Oh.
Zardoxis,
Yes.
Yeah.
the cave.
No
Carth.
matter how you say that name, it is correct because it is just a jumble of letters created
just
by George R.R.
all-
Martin.
all consonants too. There's no
Yeah.
vowels in there.
When he went to the acting guild, the Screen Actors Guild, and they asked what his name is, he fell asleep while he was typing it, and just woke up. Oh, there it is. It's like
Yeah.
your name is what? All right.
I
Well, nobody else has it.
Now, Rob, you said a couple weeks ago, you're a guy who you're not getting a lot out of little Grogu and stuff, you know. This
Yeah, much
episode,
better.
very little Grogs, very little of the Grogu in this episode.
Yeah.
Was that a plus for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see Mandalorians. You know what I did like seeing
He's
was
a
a lot of
Mandalorian.
Kim
Yeah, he is a Mandalorian. He chose
when
the
he gets
chainmail.
when he gets a helmet on. Yeah, there's great big huge thing or whatever Thundercats thing. When Kim's convenience
okay, I was gonna
shows
call it
up, I
Mithril.
really like. Oh my god.
Carson
I
Teva.
Yes, I loved it. I loved all that X-wing stuff or whatever. I'm always a big fan of.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it came down to stuff looking like Star Wars,
Mhm.
I really liked it.
I'm
Then other
sorry.
things are like, oh, whatever.
I'm really curious about where the last, because we only have 3 episodes left.
Really?
Yeah, it's only
Only
8.
8
they only-
episodes.
They only do 8 episode seasons, my dude.
Yeah.
But
Gotta
like,
figure it out.
I'm really curious because if you asked me what is the season finale going to be at the beginning of the season, I would have said, well, it's going to be him going to the mines of Mandalore and getting redeemed. That'll be the end of it. And then he did that in episode 2. And then I was like, well, I guess the final season will be like, you know, they'll have to save Navarro and then the Mandalorian people will have a home. And they're like, well, we did that. It's like, well, it'll be Bo-Katan taking her helmet back off. And then she did that too.
I was
like,
gonna ask you about that too. What do you think of the armorers? It's like, no, you're cool. Take your helmet off. It's like, you've been part of this drive for 15 minutes. Just take it off. It's fine.
well, like I've always hated the keep your helmet on rule, mostly because Pedro Pascal's so dreamy. And you know, I'd love to see more of him, but also because like it's not a thing that was ever established before the Mandalorian came around. So I like that Bo-Katan, who's not really in the cult, who is really just pretending to be in the cult so she could have some friends, is able to walk both worlds in the cult but not wearing a helmet. And I think Star Wars Explained, talked about this. I think the final scene or something in the final episode will have like multiple people in that group, maybe even the armorer, all taking off their helmets.
Wow.
And I think that'd be really cool. And then you get to see that she was one of the people who followed Darth Maul.
I was gonna say if she takes off her helmet and she's one of those swamp things.
I would love that so much.
Mm-hmm. So does Bo-Katan? You think? What's this? Well, the prophecy's fulfilled. She's seen the mythosaur. Oh, right, that mythosaur guy. Not just point. Do you think that the armor believed her? That she actually saw it, or do you think she's just like paying her lip service? It's like, okay. Okay.
I don't know why it can't be both. If
Right.
I'm being honest, like
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, mythosaurs only exist in legend as far as she's concerned, but Bo-Katan saw one. And, you know, why would Bo-Katan lie about this?
She's going crazy.
Turns out
She was alone for a long time.
I don't think so. Well, I guess it turns out that in between episodes, like years pass, according to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. So,
Yeah, gone bananas, and she imagined it. It was just some old rock.
well, also she's getting very old. She was like 30 in the Clone Wars. Anyway, but
I don't know why you're saying that. It's very old.
no, I mean, so she's got to be like close to 60 now.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like over twice as old as me.
This is actually probably best. Yeah.
Oh, so does she get that dark saber from Mandalore? Do you think she's gonna turn? She's gonna say, "No, f you. I'm taking this dark saber. Enough of that."
I don't know. You know, again,
Do you think that would matter? Do you think people would follow her anyways if she had it? Do you think people actually believe that stuff anymore?
The fact that Din Djarin isn't calling all the shots in the covert would
Right.
suggest that at least that group does not do that. But then again, coming in riding a Godzilla is like, that's pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And then I think Din Djarin, he's terrible with the Darksaber. So like he should just give it to her. I think he wants to give it to her, but I think because of the events of Star Wars Rebels and the things that happened in between Rebels and Mandalorian, she won't take it without winning it somehow. Maybe they'll have a
Alright.
council of Mandalorians.
Oh boy.
Boba Fett can be there, and the armor can be there, and Grogu can be there.
Yoda could be there for sure, just hanging out, trying to eat things. I wonder if Yoda try to eat one of those birds. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Did
You can, like this, it'd be like that. What was that thing from Futurama? I think that just eats everything.
Oh,
I
Nibbler.
like it. Nibbler.
Anyway, that's all I've got.
There you
yeah.
For
I
on
did
Mando.
just see something that kind of piqued my interest.
go. Oh boy.
Did anyone watch freaking Party Down? Either the original or the new series that just
I've
dropped?
only seen a couple episodes of the original.
I did it.
You got the hell out of here. Smart. Smart.
Because, yeah, apparently, I can't see when the actual last episode just dropped. Okay, so it was like last week was the finale of season 3, where this show came back to, oddly enough, it came back to the network that it started on, which is strange. And
Right.
they added a season 3 13 years after the cancellation of the show.
Yep.
I definitely watched a good bit of this show in 2009 and 2010 and do not remember much of it.
It has so many people in there, like Jane Lynch and Ken Marino and what's I gonna say? Severance guy. I can't think of his name for some reason.
Adam Scott?
Adam Scott's in it. Yes. Yeah.
And-
There's so many.
Martin Starr is in it. There's
Mhm.
there's a ton of people. And they got everybody back for the new season.
got everybody
Except
back.
for one. Except for one. Lizzie Kaplan could not appear because she was scheduled for a different project during the entire time they were filming. Except that no, she does show up in the finale that happened last week, and they managed to actually keep a secret in this day and age and surprised everybody when she showed up. Fun stuff.
You're a monster. Not a
And
monster.
from what I see, they're talking about plans for season 4. They don't know for sure that they're going to be renewed for a season 4, but
What's it on
a bunch of the
Starz?
cast seems, yeah,
It would have to be expensive.
Stars.
Just to just to produce the show itself would be fine, but just to pay the people to be there. Like I'm sure you could have gotten Ken Marino and stuff like that to do it, or it would have been a problem. But to get there's big stars now. Like just to get Jane Lynch, for example, she's on friggin' 3 or 4 other things at a time. Anyways, Marvelous Maisel, I guess that's ending. Does she still have her that game show or whatever that she does, or is that only a summer thing that she doesn't?
Also, it literally says
I can't remember what it's called.
in the Wikipedia for the show, it mentions that Jane Lynch is not in 2 episodes of the first season because she was committed to Glee. Oh
Yeah.
man, now I'm sad because Glee is never gonna get the ending.
This is a nightmare.
That show ended in the middle of nowhere.
I prefer to think of Glee in the community sense.
Yes, I was literally kidding
Confused?
because I've never
Confused
seen the
how
show.
that was ever popular. Confused how that was ever popular. Write some original songs. I loved it.
Right, some original songs. It's really funny.
Yep.
Yeah, clearly everybody took a pay cut to do this season 3. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, they just get to hang out.
But then half the cast are producers, so there's also that.
How much money can you make? I wonder how much money is there to be made from it. Who knows? I have no idea how this works. I have no idea how streaming, all these streaming things are still going and stuff. No, I can tell with Amazon. Amazon will be fine. It's run by the richest people in the world. But
Yeah.
like things like Netflix, I don't know how sustainable. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad we have things like Stranger Things and stuff like that. But I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's
Well,
profitable at $10 a person. Well, I guess maybe how much. I'd be interested to know how much their membership has gone down now that they
yeah.
start cracking down on the shared passwords and stuff.
And I wonder. But yeah, you imagine that for whatever service we're thinking about, and a lot of them are so tied up in so many other things now that they do have multiple revenue streams, like Disney and the parks and all of that, and the toys, because they're Mattel. But the real thing is your streaming service has, whatever number, 10 million people, and they all pay $10, so you have $100 million, and that's your budget. Like, and obviously it's not the entirety of that, because you do have to pay some engineers to build the website, but after the website is built, adding things onto it is a pretty easy enough thing that doesn't require the entire stable. So once operations are running, you just collect subscription fees and you make
You have
things
to
out of
pay.
it.
You have to
But
pay so many people. There's like there. What were they saying? Millie Bobby Brown turned down was it 11 and $10.5 million, $11 million to play 11 again for what
also,
one more for a movie or something like that, and that's it.
yeah,
And she turned it
yeah.
down. Has Millie Bobby Brown looked around and seen all these super successful child actors? There's not lots. You don't turn
Yeah,
down that kind of money. Are you insane? What is the matter with you? Yeah,
yeah.
well,
That's
that's it.
Jonathan
11.
Taves money.
Oh my God.
That was a joke for 4 people.
Yeah. Winnipeg, so Jonathan Davis.
3 of them are in this call. But yeah, you know, I don't understand how, like, I don't understand how television used to make money. I understand it a lot
Oh, I know.
more now,
It's easy.
because
They sold advertisements.
I guess,
They
yeah.
sold a lot of advertisements.
But the advertisements belonged, like, again, I mean,
It was split a whole bunch of ways.
yeah.
Just imagine how many television stations there were just in the United States. All right, let's be conservative and say 1,000.
Mhm.
Then the 1,000 different stations are gonna get revenue money
Play
in
8 minutes of ads every hour. Yeah.
or more. It's 18 minutes of ads. So yeah, you times that by that many stations. So that's how these places make money. With Netflix, one jerk pays $10 a month. So yeah, you get $120 a year. You can get a whole bunch of them, but you have to pay so many other people. That's your revenue stream. You have to pay the actors, like the production costs, all this other stuff that you want to do. What can you do? It's not
True,
like
but, like,
it's not like
again,
it's not like you're doing box sets and stuff like that. That takes away from your revenue stream. So where's the extra money going to come in? You have to think about toys and stuff like that. So you have to think about stuff for younger kids. So yeah, like I love Stranger Things. Like I've never seen a Stranger Thing action figure. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are Stranger Thing action figures.
there's a
I
Stranger
don't
Things
know of anybody who's
Dungeons
ever
and
bought one.
Dragons skin. Like,
Yep.
you can go to the store and buy the Stranger Things campaign for Dungeons and Dragons, and like it's around.
That's a
It's
little
just
on the nose. It's a little
yeah.
on the nose, isn't it?
It's because Stranger Things is a rather kind of niche thing. Like
The very
is
first scene in
one,
Stranger
yeah.
Things is a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yes. And like there's a lot of fantastical elements, and so you kind of only have
The
those
name
two
of their
choices.
monster is stolen directly from
You
Dungeons
you
and
can
Dragons.
make Stranger Things the D&D game, and you can make action figures. There's not a lot of merchandising
That's it. But
opportunity
that's only
in
one
the
show.
world.
That's only one show on that network. Like they had Avenger, like was or Defenders, like all those guys and stuff like that. The Punisher, they couldn't put out action figures for that. They wouldn't get the revenue for that anyways to go to Disney.
Mhm.
Uh, like there's the Guardians of Justice. They could do a Diamond Dallas Page action figure. Oh my god, awful,
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. All right. And instead of figuring out all of Netflix's problems, maybe we should plug some shows, get on out of here, and deal with some problems of our own.
Oh brother. Fine, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start by saying, guys, you can catch me here every Tuesday. We've had a pretty good run of actually showing up to do the show. So here on Have You Seen This? Here on the Northern Entertainment Group and the wider, in a sense, Benverse. You can catch me on LGRN, The Highlights. I have a show starting 11 for the English Premier League. An episode just dropped today dealing with the fallout from Chelsea, my club, sacking their manager, Graham Potter, after only 7 months. 7 of the worst months of my entire life. And you can also catch me at LGRN with the highlights with Playoff Beards, the hockey show that's featuring the Stanley Cup playoffs. Next episode is coming up just before the playoff starts, and it's going to be Adelie and I breaking down who we believe are going to win each playoff series and just talk about the season as a whole. How about you?
Mhm. I actually don't have a plug yet. I'm not sure when I have a plug.
You're a monster.
What I
You
do
are a
have
monster,
is
sir.
a little trip around the Benverse for sure. Dave, if you could remember where Lou said he was going to be, let me know. But I'll just plug a thing I was looking at and listening along to yesterday. On the Multiverse of Geekdom, a bunch of our pals were ranking Disney villains for almost an hour. It looks like that seems like a fun time. And we got Frenchie, we got Dawn, we got Noah, we got all sorts of friends over there. That was yesterday's show. I actually forgot to send the message into the group chat, so I don't have upcoming shows. So definitely go watch yesterday's show. We're on the Multiverse of Geekdom. And I'm pretty sure Lou said he was going to be on the Multiverse of Geekdom coming up. I can't remember. So that's about all I got.
That's what you
Dave
get for
has a
sabotaging
plug?
Frenchie. Let's see. Maybe he
Dave's
doesn't.
plug is his Lost show. What's Dave's Lost show about, Rob?
He was doing a show weekly
Mhm.
for every lost episode, but now they've taken a step
It's
back.
a monthly show for every season.
Right. They've life has come to Southern Ontario, and he's had some things he's had to take care of. So little changes in his last show. He's going to be talking about each season as a whole, one episode per month, I guess. So how many seasons did it run? 50 seasons? Or
Something
6
like
or something
that.
like that?
Six
Or 6?
6 seasons and no movies.
And a movie?
Not
No
yet.
movie. We already know what happens. Even I know what happens, and I've never seen it.
But yeah, still no updates on when that will be coming back. But I will be appearing next Monday on Jedi Academy to talk all things that come out of Star Wars Celebration this week.
Oh.
Ah, yes, Grogu Celebration.
Yes, Grogu.
Also, to be fair, it is Mando Celebration at this point, right?
He gets a helmet.
No, like we still are mad at Dave Filoni for what he did to Tech.
But,
Yeah, I'm frigging so irate.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, the only thing all Star Wars fans agree on is that Mando is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That Andor is one of the best things that's ever happened. But
Yeah.
also,
I
Dan, there are. You don't
I
know
have
this.
heard quite a bit of that too.
There are legitimately 3 more Star Wars shows coming out this year.
That is insanity.
Is
There's
Skeleton Crew one of them?
Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, and season 2
Yeah.
of Star Wars Visions.
So they're dropping back on the Marvel stuff, and they're going full forward with the Disney stuff.
Because the Star Wars stuff's
Or the
killing
Star
it.
Wars stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Good.
And also, yeah,
Fine.
I mean, if you go back and forth, that kind of works too. But then they'd need Star Wars movies to make in the year when they put the Marvel shows on.
And they just
They
fired
don't
all
have
their
those.
and they just fired all their Star Wars directors. So
Excellent.
What show are you looking forward to most? Is it the Ahsoka show?
it's obviously the
cartoon?
Ahsoka show.
The
You know, I
cartoon?
love Jude
It is
Law.
100% the Ahsoka show.
Okay.
I actually really want to hear more about the Acolyte, which is a show about like
Right.
Sith
That's
and
the
stuff.
bad guy one, right?
Yeah, so that would be exciting. And
I
it
heard
happens.
that they cast people in it. I know that.
Yeah, I don't. We can talk about all this next week when I come with Star Wars news.
Joseph is also
I just want
on
to
the
show.
channel.
I just want to show
Alright,
set
cool.
far enough in the past that someone could be like, rule of 2, that sounds pretty fucking dumb. What if there were just more of us?
They talk about that. You know, Darth Bane shows up in Clone Wars.
Oh, cool. I almost watched a bunch of Clone Wars last
I'd
week
like-
just so I could come on and talk about Clone Wars instead of Mando.
I would like it if 2 was just the name of like their club, the rule of 2, and then 2 was just like just some kind of code word they have for their own secret club, and there's actually hundreds and thousands of these guys.
Okay.
Yes.
So
We
it's gonna make
reinvented the number system, so now 2
Guys,
means infinity.
George Lucas, the check should be in the mail. All right, chop chop. I'm giving you all the ideas.
Excellent.
Oh, that's
So
good.
since we've given away all of our ideas instead of using them for ourselves, we shall
Yeah,
probably head out now.
Probably get sued anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Litigious
So,
bastards.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week. Anybody want to say goodbye to the people?
Bon voyage, mes amis.